Hi, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Some Soothings. It's Thursday, May 28th, and this is episode 8. And today we are celebrating Hot Garbage Day at Some Soothings. A defining feature of summer in New York is the ever-present waft of slow-cooked warm trash. And today was the first time in 2020 that I discerned that smell. So I hope that you are having a nice hot garbage day wherever you are. And thank you for taking the time away from your hot garbage day celebrations to tune into our show. So this is Some Soothings. My name is Joshua. I am a musician, a glitch artist, a sound artist. And when things are less pandemic-y, I tend to collaborate with performing artists, image makers, other musicians. But in these current circumstances, I just am struggling to engage with my practice, my art-making practice. But that practice and just making and sharing things in general is really critical to my well-being. So I'm doing this show kind of in place of all of that. So the show is Some Soothings. It's a 30-minute weekly live stream. It endeavors to be gentle, tender, calming. It'll feel maybe a little new agey, a little sound bathy, a little ASMR-ish. We will definitely crack some jokes, but we're keeping it, I don't know, pretty wholesome. As such, the show is not like designed for kids, but it's totally kid-friendly. If you have kids, please invite them to join us. The show is also pasta amorous and welcoming to all noodle types, capellini, rotelli, linguine, vermicelli, spaghetti, campanelli, conchigli, or festuni, maybe fusilli, even gnocchi, penne, rigatoni, orzo, even macaroni, and zoodle. Even zoodle's welcome here. Each week we look at a piece of contemporary art. We'll share a moment of grateful reflection. I'll speak to how well or how unwell I am hydrating. I'll do a brief live ambient music performance, and we'll close with a poem. Just as a quick note, I can't really engage with the chat. I can kind of see it happening over here, so it's encouraging when I see activity in there, but I can't really participate. So after the show, I'll leave the stream open and I'll pop into the chat to say hi. Okay, let's look at some art. So this is The Swamp by Jaune Quick to See Smith. Smith first crossed the Veil in 1940 to land that colonizers named Montana. Smith is of the Salish Kootenai tribe and has Metis and Shoshone ancestry. Smith grew up all over the Pacific Northwest, raised by a single father who was a horse trader, and so the pair lived like really itinerantly, which provided Smith contact with many different tribal cultures and different indigenous art practices, but also like really varied landscapes and ways of making a life, like experiencing life on the reservation, but then also in cities or in non-native rural communities. Smith also received some non-native education through just kind of the straight-up public schools, so has had some training in the culture and art and literature of Western Civ. Smith came east for undergrad, studying art history, art education, and art practice at Framingham College in Massachusetts, and got a master's degree at the University of New Mexico. Smith continues to live in New Mexico today. Their work is held by the Met, the Whitney, MoMA, the Smithsonian, the Walker, which has a very thoughtfully curated Indigenous art collection. Alongside Smith's painting and printmaking practice, they were in the thick of the radical Native rights movement in the 70s, and they continue to be a vocal advocate for Native American women artists. They've worked as a teacher, a curator, a writer, a lecturer, and throughout endeavoring to promote the inclusion of indigenous viewpoints in contemporary mainstream art discourse. So decolonizing the canon is the language that art historians are using to kind of talk about this idea. And it's happening, probably not as quickly as we would like, but this is a prevalent conversation. And it's also, I think, kind of a lovely concept. It's underpinned by like an abundance mindset that suggests that like within our discourse there's room enough for all of the ideas, and that we are all richer for that inclusiveness. And so I feel like, so I'm speaking to this because I feel like I see that sensibility mirrored in Smith's visual vocabulary. So here in the swamp, there's like this deft integration of a range of traditions, and like a rigorous one as well. Like this isn't haphazard borrowing from varied traditions. This is like a studied engagement with those traditions. Swamp demonstrates a command of non-native 20th century movements like abstract expressionism. It employs modernist collage techniques, and I'm reading like some postmodern illustration and kind of graffiti vocabulary in there. And so then, but then also is inclusive of these First Nation symbologies, like the trickster rabbit up in the upper left. That red rabbit is a trickster rabbit for sure. In the lower right, the Shoshone snake. And then there's this whole other layer of these, what I read at least as kind of pictograms that evoke ancient Egyptian art. I mean, I'm totally getting an Eye of Horus vibe down in the lower left. And I feel like our main subject here has some Anubis. Maybe it's in the outfit? I don't know. Anyway, so these wildly disparate traditions all kind of integrated gracefully, deftly, in a single painting. And that leaves a conversation, I think, about our subject, who is this amazing half-elk, half-woman, maybe bound, maybe muzzled. That seems a little unclear to me. But I went on a very pleasurable mythological creature scavenger hunt, trying to maybe figure out like who this might be. I came to no concrete conclusions, but I think speaking to kind of that exploration is worth it. So first, the first thing I thought or looked into was like the faun or the satyr, the centaur. So that's like the upside down of this. That's human head, human on top, and animal bod down below. So obviously that's not this. We've got Cernunnos, who is the Celtic god of the forest and fertility. And we're getting closer, right? Cernunnos stands upright with like a humanoid body and has a male deer head. And then finally we have the Wendigo, which is sometimes depicted as a person, so human body, but with like a buck, elk, or moose head. The Wendigo is the Algonquin spirit of madness, chaos, greed, and specifically cannibalism. I'm not getting like any cannibalism vibes off of our subject here. So I don't know who this is. I didn't figure this out. But I feel totally okay about that. I mean, one of the, I think, special profundities of our best artwork is that it eludes simplistic synopses, one-on-one analyses. It's cool, it's good that I did not find like a one-to-one match here. And I think also what's cool about that is that suggests that our subject might be a new thing, a composite being, a fresh myth built from the various strains of Smith's like broad-minded curiosity and their scholarship. I like this idea that our subject is like an amalgam, a collage of symbologies and spirit beings. There's abundance in that. And I feel like that reflects kind of a theme that I see in a lot of Smith's work, that there's this really kind-hearted, inquisitive gleaning of traditions. I was about to use the word borrowing, but it's more like sharing, this like generous-hearted sharing, this like funneling of many tributaries into the singular stream. It's beautiful stuff. Jaune, quick to see Smith, per usual. Website links, more information in the panel down below. I also have included a link to the Wikipedia entry on legendary creatures of the indigenous peoples of North America, which I highly recommend. It is a lush garden of real weirdness and real delight and fantastic storytelling. So check out legendary creatures of the indigenous peoples of North America. We're just going to really blow through this water thing. I'm trying to be more mindful of my hydration, so I'm tracking my liquid intake. This week I did a really bad job. I only drank 20 liters of liquids, so this is like a 10, 12, 15% downturn. My animal body is feeling really thirsty. I'll try better next week. I'll try to do better next week. Up next, we have a new segment on the show. The segment is called Tough Night at the Comedy Club. We're all under quarantine, and so the only folks that are showing up for open mic night right now are robots. And so a friend of mine sent a clip of their recent set. It did not go well. So here, let me roll the clip.
Hi. Thank you for coming to open mic night. My designation is 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. Why was the robot mad? People kept pushing its buttons. Why did the robot cross the road? Because it was programmed by a chicken. Why are robots shy? Because they have hardware and software but no underwear.
Ooh, 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. I'm so sorry that you had such a rough time at the comedy club. Comedy is really hard. And stairs are also really hard. This is the surprisingly healing candlestick. I know that it looks fairly unassuming, but we take what we can get in self-isolation, and this candlestick has been providing me with some measure of solace because of the sonorous tone that it makes when you strike it. So I'm going to give myself a piece of that action, and I'm going to give some of it to you too, and I hope that it makes you feel a little better. You know, it continues to work. Let's go to Kate Adams for an update on the weather in McCarthy, Alaska.
Hello, Some Soothings friends. It is a beautiful 65 degrees here in McCarthy, Alaska. We're getting about 18 and a half hours of daylight, with last light at 12:15 a.m. and first light at about 2:15 a.m. Working our way toward that summer solstice and hoping for more beautiful days like this on the way.
So beautiful. Thank you, Kate. Yeah, just so stunning. My goodness. So regularly on the show, we would take this moment to pause for, we would take like a brief moment for grateful introspection. I'm going to shift things up a little tiny bit this episode, because we have had a really bad week in America. I'm going to speak to that a little bit, and I know that you're not here for my pointed socio-political commentary. And you may be feeling really cooked by the news cycle and need not hear it from me. I dig that. I trust and support how well you know yourselves. So this is just like a quick content warning. I'm going to be doing a brief monologue on grim current events coming up. And I'm not joking about this. That's exactly what's about to happen. This isn't me teasing. So I'm going to take a second and just like stare longingly here at my pinky finger, to give you a chance to like mute or like close the stream, and then come back and join us in, I don't know, say 3 minutes. You'll know that I'm done monologuing because I'll have my headphones on and I'll be playing music. Okay, so mute, close the stream if you need to, if you want to. So, bad week in America, everybody. Our greed-soaked, incompetent, corrupt executive branch of our federal government, through, I think, casual stupidity, through petty politicking, and through, I think, willfully malicious intent, has allowed and in some cases shepherded the deaths of 100,000 people through lack of adequate response to the novel coronavirus. Concurrently, centuries of actively constructing deeply racist and militarized white supremacist penal systems resulted in the murder of George Floyd by white cops in Minneapolis. And here in Central Park, we were privy to the pettiest of white privilege, someone attempting to leverage that violent police system against a black dude that was bird watching. So, bad week in America. But in this, there is a thing that I'm grateful for, and I want to speak to that for a moment. I'm grateful for the deep bravery of activist voices and activist organizations, specifically people of color and organizations that are helping and working in communities of color, speaking truth to power, combating our racist institutions, and doing so in a climate of violent systemic oppression, doing so to lift all of us up. That's how abundance works. Risking their lives to make all of us better. It's remarkable and incredible. I'm going to close my eyes, like usual, like for a minute, and in that silence hold grief and this gratitude. There may not be a lot of soothing in this part, but I think that voices raised in resistance, in that there's always hope. So I'm closing my eyes now. Okay, let's play some music. If you are interested in more information about kind of any of this stuff I just was talking about, there's a few links in the thing down below. So take a look if you're so moved. I am going to play some tunes now. Thanks for listening, buddies. We're going to close tonight with a poem by Limon. This is called Instructions on Not Giving Up. More than the fuchsia funnels breaking out of the crabapple tree, more than the neighbor's almost obscene display of cherry limbs shoving their cotton candy-colored blossoms to the slate sky of spring rains, it's the greening of the trees that really gets me. When all the shock of white and taffy, the world's bulbs and trinkets leave the pavement strewn with the confetti of aftermath, then the leaves come, patient, plodding, a green skin growing over whatever winter did to us. A return to the strange idea of continuous living despite the mess of us, the hurt, the empty. Fine then, I'll take it, the tree seems to say, a new slick leaf unfurling like a fist to become an open palm. I'll take it all. I am so grateful for your viewership and your friendship. Thanks for tuning in tonight. The intro and outro music has been for release by Matches. It's from this fantastic singles series that Looking Glass Records is putting out right now. Link, per usual, is downstairs. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to turn the camera off and hop in the chat for like a hot second. We can listen to Matches. I'll come say hi. Thanks, gang.